everybody, and welcome to another episode of Over the Curve podcast, a Formula One podcast for fans old and new by Formula One fans old and new. Joining me today, my incredible team, Shakuni and Kramer.
Yeah, hello, guys. Hello.
And the ghost of Honey Badger in the chat.
Ooh.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
would
it.
just have to clarify Daniel Ricardo is fine. The Honey Badger, our Honey Badger, is on chat and not on voice today. But this is the Spanish GP preview episode. And I mean, I don't have much expectation from the weekend, but there is a lot that has happened in days leading up to the weekend. And let's get into that. So first thing, let's talk about the water thing. Daniel Ricciardo said that he had less water in his car to save weight in Miami. What do you guys think of that?
Well, at least he was not wearing any jewelry, so
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure his underwear was also very long.
What do I say? Like it's scary that there are drivers in the car in such high humid conditions driving these fast ass cars and not getting enough hydration. And that's not a concern.
Well, see, the thing is, it's not a concern because it's not getting FIA publicity, right? It's getting the driver the publicity. FIA only gives a fuck when it is FIA publicity. If not, then it's all okay. It happened once. It was very humid only for him. All the other drivers were okay. I don't think it was such a big problem.
No, but I think
We'll
we've
look
seen
into it.
enough examples where drivers were so tired that they couldn't even like stand on the podiums or whatever. Like, you know.
Yeah, but every time what they have done is that he was not feeling well. Every other driver, we don't discriminate between drivers. If only one or two incidents cannot prove that.
Yeah, exactly. Like there are other 19 drivers who finished the race.
No. It's not about finishing the race. It's about the teams having to go to such lengths to save weight that they are like, okay, we can't remove anything else, so we'll remove this one thing that is important for you to survive.
Water.
Yeah. And I mean, like, it's not just about like having enough water. It's also about like famous Kimi radios of you will not have the drink. Like you have to make sure, like, how is staying hydrated during the race not an important thing?
There was also another driver who finished the entire practice or something without water. I forgot who it was. Practice or qualifying or race, I don't know. I think it was Charles only who was begging for water, but he did not get or something. I forgot who it was.
Yeah, so I think these things are also important, and sure, it's not happened like in any race. At least I've never heard of a case where multiple drivers had the same problem of being so dehydrated that it became like a quote unquote issue. But I think it's happened enough times for FIA to actually kind of look into it, because the drink system not being available to the driver during the race. See, qualifying and practice, I can understand, because if the driver is getting too thirsty, they can always come back and they at least have the option to come back into the pits and have a sip, right? You can't do that during the race. So that's why I would say free practice and qualifying, it's still a little different, because every time that they are in the pits, they at least have the option to have some water. But race, no. Honey Badger says, does the same rule apply for Red Bull, the drink? I mean, Red Bull's ingredient is just shrug emoji. So then let's talk about Andretti and their problems entering into Formula One. So Andretti apparently reached out to the team principals. So Michael Andretti reportedly spoke to F1 team principals in Miami looking for signatures for his petition to waive the $200 million F1 entry fee for new teams. McLaren and Alpine are reportedly the only teams who agreed. Why is the decision for new teams to enter in the hands of other team principals? Because, okay, and correct me if I'm wrong here, from what I remember is that Andretti never had the problem to pay the entry fee, right?
No.
But okay, is it about the fee now, or is it more about the teams not wanting things to change and now they are a lot more comfortable because they know what the other principals and the other teams would be doing, and the poaching becomes easy?
See, poaching is going to happen any which ways. It's not like if there are only 10 teams, they will not try to poach your driver.
No, it's not. I'm not talking about the driver. I'm talking about the staff. Like how far. I'll give you a very great example. And I was so shocked that this happened. Yeah. So majority of the Red Bull new hirings in the last 2 years have been
For Mercedes people, yeah, I know.
have been Mercedes people. They've been poaching Mercedes people left, right, and center. So if new teams come in, do you think they are scared that their top people could be poached by these new teams?
That's a stupid reason to not want new teams.
Because we have seen what happened to Mercedes because their top engineers quitting. We are seeing it
I
now.
I don't think it's just because of that. Any organization will build that kind of a dependency on just a couple of people. That's not how organizations work.
No, but the people poached by Red Bull are some of the most important Mercedes people.
Yeah, sure. But what I'm trying to say is that, okay, sure, there is a drain of knowledge that happened from Mercedes to Red Bull, but I don't think that is solely responsible for Mercedes' performance this year, first. Second, I don't think there is such a shortage of people who can work in these capacities that Mercedes is like totally helpless. Third, it is going to happen. That is always going to happen. There is always going to be some team that is ready to give you a better deal than what you have at a current organization. I mean, all of us work, right? We all work. Do we not go for job changes when we get something better? That's always going to happen. Like that is like, I think the primary reason is the money, because I think the pot of money that goes out at the end of the year to the constructors, so it's not people related is what I'm trying to say. It's not about people. And I think Andretti being such a big name in Indy and everything, sure, they might need people who have specific knowledge when it comes to F1 technical regulations and developing a car that is required for Formula 1. But it's not like they have no idea as to what racing is. I'm pretty sure they have a decent enough facility where they can actually they have a lot of competency regarding racing and cars in general. They might need a few specialized people. That's it. But again, the point is that if they were okay paying the money that they are required to pay, and then the FIA is like, no, but you have to go and ask the team principals to waive off the fees. Why? It's not like Andretti was like, hey, we don't want to pay the entry fee, and then FIA was like, hey, you know what, then you have to get signatures from other team principals. Andretti was like, sure, you want 200 million, we'll pay the 200 million, we don't have a problem. And then FIA is like, no, but get signature from all team principals to waive off the fees. That is my problem. That is the issue here.
Very possible.
Look, it's like giving the team principals the opportunity to choose their opponents.
Exactly.
Yeah, kind of like that only. No, it's kind of like that. So they were all very happy and go lucky when it was Porsche and Audi. And even Porsche and Audi have still not gotten the clearance, right? Because of which Toto and Zach Brown, everyone had the conversation, right, about the FIA not letting the other teams, because the FIA will not in turn earn more.
No, but Porsche and Audi were never going to come in as a new team. They were always talks, at least for these regulations.
But even for that, the FIA has still not given the official confirmation, right? The FIA is still not agreeing to Porsche and Audi coming in 2026. No. So even that's a big issue. Yeah, FIA has not confirmed that.
FIA does not confirm that. Volkswagen said that Porsche and Audi have a green light from Volkswagen Group to enter Formula 1, and now Porsche is in talks with Red Bull, and Audi is trying to find out which is the most viable team for them to acquire.
But they still need the green light from the FIA. They cannot just come in.
No, they need a green light to become an engine manufacturer, but not to acquire a team.
No, I remember, because in the Force India, I think in the Drive to Survive 2 also, it was said that the FIA is looking into who can buy the Force India and everything. So if you remember correctly, because during that Vijay Mallya thing, Papa Stroll was shown as that savior, the messiah of F1 because he saved the bankrupt F1 team and everything.
I mean, I have not heard anything where it says that FIA is not allowing Porsche and Audi to enter. I think what Toto and Zach Brown spoke about was more from an Andretti point of view. But Zach Brown, I can still understand because McLaren agreed to sign their petition, but Toto did not. So Toto, I love you, but like, then just fucking sign the petition, man. I really think that what F1 as a sport needs is new teams. There are so many drivers who are waiting for a chance in Formula One. They they have given so much of their time. Very good news for Shakuni, which is Michael Masi may return as a director in 2023.
Yeah, music to my ears. All hail Lord Masi.
Dude, like, why would FIA want to make the same mistake twice?
Okay.
So, okay, think about it this way. With Masi, they had fuck ups, but they still did not have the major fuck ups they are having this year.
Yeah. So what the FIA president said is, I didn't say we were getting rid of him. I said we might use him. He may be in a good place to use. We are open to everything. This news comes after the FIA president revealed that he would like to see a minimum of 3 race directors by the start of 2023.
So Masi is the third race director. Okay, I mean, see, I understand that the whatever happened in the race we shall not talk about happened because of this amazing gem of a person. But
Oh, the sass of it. Love it.
thank you. But you have to understand that whoever these two buffoons are right now, acting as the racing directors, are not capable. At least with Masi, we did not see things like these happening.
See,
At least he
Yeah,
gave
virtual
penalties to
safety
top four
cars used
teams.
when there is legit debris on the track. Red flags happening when the driver has only spun no debris on the track. Red flag happening after a guy finishes his lap. All these did not happen with Masi. These are
see,
legit issues. With Masi, the only problem we had was, यार इसको penalty क्यों दिया तू?
no. So, what I will say is that both sets of directors are a problem. It's,
Yeah,
I
both
mean,
of them are problem. Both of them are
I,
problem, but he was at least considerate to driver safety. If you remember during that Saudi Arabian qualifying or something, when Latifi or Stroll crashed into that barricade, he stopped the race until that barricade was secure enough and he felt that they can start the race again.
sure, but
At this moment,
in that same GP, he would have a virtual safety car out and then to clear the track and then remove the safety car, and then again after 2 or 3 laps there was again a safety car out because the drivers were reporting that there is still debris on track. So I am not saying that Michael Masi is perfect, nor am I saying that these race directors are perfect, but if you ask me if these are the people who should eventually, the decision for the race director should be between these three or all three of them combined, that's a recipe for disaster.
it is
That's not
already a disaster.
the
It is already a
problem.
disaster. A race director not like seeing that there's a concrete wall at one of the most dangerous turns in the track and not doing anything about it after the drivers complaining, it is already a recipe for disaster. At least for things like these, I have respect for Masi that he was at least considerate up for the drivers' safeties. At least he was talking about it. These guys are not at all talking about it. These guys are only conscious about what public thinks and sees about them.
No,
They are not taking.
I am not a fan of these new racing directors, but I would not want to see Michael Masi return again.
I don't want to. I don't want to see him either. But if I have an option between these three, I would go for Masi.
Yeah, which is a poor way to decide on who is going to govern the race, which is like, that is the problem. It's a systematic problem, right? Like, you need to find competent people. Like, if 3 people directing a race is,
And still, we have fuck ups.
I don't think multiple race directors is a solution. If all three of them are incompetent, I don't see it as a solution. And Shakuni, you saying Michael Massey will be back, he's not going to be back. Like what the FIA president has said is that he wants to see a minimum of 3 race directors at the start of 2023. That's minimum of 3, maximum I don't know. I am assuming it will be 5, but what I'm trying to say is having multiple race directors is not a viable option unless you decide that the responsibilities for decisions will be divided.
Man, in my opinion, at least there should be one retired driver in that chair.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I'm literally looking at the entire
Make
FIA
make
governing
Kimi
body.
Raikkonen the race director.
Do
No.
you really think Kimi
No.
want to come to
Have
F1
you
and won the
lost it?
race?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes. Make
No,
Kimi the
that
race
is a
director.
recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Kimi would be like, red flag, yellow flag, whatever you want, guys.
I think retired drivers should actually be stewards rather than race directors.
Yeah.
I think the drivers should be stewards rather than race directors, because the stewards are the ones who decide on penalties and everything, and there
At
is going
least
to be
they should
some
be there at
semblance
some
of
capacity.
there is going to be some semblance of fairness and consistency in the penalties given out if there are actual drivers who have driven in Formula One who are assessing.
Unbiased drivers.
I don't think there is ever going to be an unbiased driver who, like, let's spit out names of who can be a driver that can become a steward.
Oh, in the current lot.
No, like drivers who have retired, like
retired. I think Nico
Rosberg, the guy who decidedly hates on Lewis Hamilton
he
and
hates
Mercedes.
Lewis. No, see, he hates Lewis, but he is still fair. Whenever, like, he always throws shades at Lewis, but that has not stopped him from, still appreciating what Mercedes does or what Lewis has done, right? So I don't think he would
he has been
legitimately
their
do
like
something.
biggest critic and their fan.
I love Nico Rosberg. I really do. But like
You love Britney.
some of the things that he said about Lewis's performance this year, they're just like, I know
It's not Nico, Mark Webber.
sure, but I think Mark Webber again has similar feelings for Red Bull. But the point I'm trying to make is there is never going to be an unbiased driver, but yeah, let stewards be people who are
Who
who
know
have at
what
least
actual racing line is.
exactly, who know what is actually, like, take for example the Mick Schumacher and Vettel incident in Miami, right? Everybody agrees that it's a penalty. Like Alonso got 2 penalties that race. That inconsistency is the problem, which is what we saw with Masi as well. And I'm not saying it's the fault of the race directors, but it also goes to show that the stewards are also not clear as to what things account for penalties. And there is no lack of driver names. Okay, between the 3 of us, and also Honeybag on chat, let's just say out names of drivers that have retired that can be potential stewards. Okay, so we have Nico Rosberg,
Maldonado.
we have Mark Webber, we have Maldonado, Paul Di Resta, Jensen Button. I mean, all these people have now become like presenters and everything, but Felipe Massa, Robert Kubica, David Coulthard, there are so many names like stewards, or at least be in an advisory capacity with the stewards to tell them, oh no, this actually, if they look at an incident like Vettel and Mick and decide that no further action is necessary, the driver can say no, someone there was at fault. Someone there had a much bigger play in that incident, rather than you saying that both the drivers were 50-50 at fault.
What is happening right now with driver safety is more concerning for me, because that is literally the safety of the people. Like, they are playing with the safety of these guys, and this is not right. I don't agree to this.
I think there is a lot more thing to talk about FIA, and which is the FIA president has finally said something about the jewelry ban. he said that people say I did what Lewis and Toto wanted by removing Michael Massey. I mean, I do that for them and then I have it in for them. It doesn't make sense. Did he just publicly announce that Toto and Lewis asked him to remove Michael Massey and he actually did?
Yes.
Sounds
Why would you disclose this? And then he says Lewis saw a doctor in Miami to discuss the jewelry issue. And guess what? He was a British doctor. I don't think Lewis's problem was that there was no British doctor available to advise on his jewelry thing. Something different. I'm simply saying the rules are there. It's not for me to decide the merit of the science. It's for the medics. So Lewis has been given an extension for his nose stud till Monaco, for which he was asked to get a minor surgery done to get it removed.
what the
Hamilton-
fuck?
Yes. Hamilton has stated that he won't ever remove it, and Mohammed has replied that it is his choice. There are fines that apply. It's like if someone speeds on the roads, you can't stop them doing it, but they get fined, even if it was accidental. I have seen at least Lewis Hamilton in the Miami post-race conference was not wearing his ear jewelry, right? Like his ear studs or earrings, whatever it is that he wears, he wasn't wearing that. But if he needs to have a minor surgery to get that nose stud removed and FIA is still behind it, I think that is taking it. You are actually going to force somebody to have a surgery they don't want to have because of this small piece of metal that is protected by a fire resistant helmet, when he has essentially agreed to not have any other jewelry, right? He does not wear the rings in the car. I don't think, I mean, I have not seen that, so I can't say for the rings, but at least I've seen in the post-race conference he was not wearing his earrings, right? So he has at least removed that. So he's not against the rule, but you're expecting him to get a surgery for this?
But do you think they would literally ban Hamilton from Monaco if Hamilton doesn't get the surgery?
See, what Ben has said is that there are fines in place. I don't know if there is going to be a ban per se. I understand his decision to not remove his nose stud if it requires him to have a surgery.
Dude, surgery is more dangerous than a nose stud.
Anyways, some other news that I read was that Stefano wants South Africa back, which is a good thing. I've never watched a South African GP, of course, because I've not raced there in like at least 2 decades. So I'm not sure how good the track is, but from what I've heard, it's pretty good.
No, the South Africa track is really good.
I would also want to see South Africa come back on the calendar.
I want to see a race in another continent because I'm legit done with European calendar. Like I love the European leg, but it is too much. They need to explore other continents as well, and they need to race there more now.
Yeah, bring F1 to Vietnam and India.
Oh,
Both.
the international circuit.
That Hanoi circuit is good. I think that last sector is like too twisty turny for my liking, and I am a little bit concerned about the pit entry there. But I think sector 1 and 2 provide very good opportunities for overtakers, and it's a good fast circuit. Sepang obviously is a much better option, as Honey Badger said.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
yes.
Please bring back
Stefano.
Man, I have
Stefano
been
wants
telling from
third
a very
place.
long time that I want Malaysia back.
Okay, so speaking of Malaysia, so apparently the Russian GP is not getting replaced. It is just cancelled. There is not going to be an additional race. It's now just a 22 race calendar. What do you guys think? I thought either Turkey or Sepang would make a comeback in place of Russia, given that it was supposed to be a quote-unquote record-breaking 23 race calendar.
But I think it's better for the drivers. At least they'll get some rest because the schedule this year has been, I feel it's a little bit more hectic than normal. So
yeah, I mean, I understand that as well.
Dude, for me, a concern is like, why don't they finish US race at one go?
yeah.
Why do they have to travel back and forth?
So even the same goes for the European leg, right? The European
Yeah,
leg,
exactly.
finish the entire European leg in one go and then
Like,
move to the
finish
other leg.
all, yeah, finish all 3 US races, then go to Europe, come back to Europe, and then you can go to Brazil for like finishing last race.
I think on the North American like the Americas continent now, there are a lot more races. Like, you have Canada, you have three.
Mexico.
Oh my God, 3 US races. Then you have Mexico, and then you have Brazil. It makes sense to have all of them in one go. Like even this time, we had Miami, and then we come back to Europe for Spanish and Monaco and Baku, and then we go back to Canada. It doesn't make sense.
Now, even from the environmental point of view,
Yeah,
there will
I
be
mean,
like less carbon footprint.
FIA has said that they want to be net carbon zero by 2030, and if you're going to have a calendar like this, there's no, like, those cars can run on 100% biofuel. They're not going to go electric, of course, because then it's just Formula E. You can run your entire car on biofuel, but if you keep on traveling so much, how are you going to become net zero?
They're like, we will become net zero on track.
Before we go to Spanish GP, let's talk about the Monaco historic GP that happened, and Charles crashing Niki Lauda's Ferrari because his brake failed in, I think, the penultimate corner, which was sad because it's Monaco and it's Charles.
It's
Ferrari.
like an easy bet for us in a prediction that Charles DNF in Monaco.
Oh
No,
no,
but I
am
don't
giving
think it was
prediction
his fault.
from now.
I don't
Charles
think it.
No, I am not blaming Charles. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, he doesn't have luck in Monaco.
Yeah, I think a couple more instances of this, and Charles would be the first one to say, let's not race in Monaco, man. Let's just not. Can we just
hopefully.
not race in Monaco? But yeah, it was rather unfortunate. But here is a bigger concern for me. If you already have a historic Monaco GP, do you really need to have an actual GP in Monaco as well? Like, make it a big event, no? Make a big event out of it. Like, you already have like historic cars, I can understand. Like, racing in those cars is at least even fun, but at least like try to have like a halo or something, because it's like it's scary to watch these cars without halo, man. But
Oh, yeah.
it's so scary. Like, even me watching like the older seasons, it's
No,
so.
exactly. I was coming to that point. I was watching one of the old 2010 highlights, and I'm like, oh, fuck, if someone crashes now, they're done.
What I want to say is, if there is a historic GP already happening in Monaco, just make a big deal out of it and not have Monaco on the regular calendar. Let the drivers race in these historic cars, because at least then it is fun for them also. At least there are chances to have overtakes and whatever. Like, even if you want to have like a regular, like if you want to have it on the regular season thing, make it with the historic cars, and don't have any points of that.
Yeah, just like an event.
It's just an event. Don't let it have any points on the championship. So the driver itch of driving in Monaco is also fulfilled, and we at least see an entertaining race rather than just 20 cars following each other for 2 hours.
Yeah, like a parade.
Yeah. Now let's talk. I'll save the most spiciest news for the end. And let's talk about Williams confirming that Nick De Vries will participate in FP1 for them in Spain.
That's good. That means Latifi is bye-bye.
No, he's going to take Albon's car, not Latifi's.
No, in future I'm sure.
Yeah, so Jose Capito has actually said that Nicolas Latifi will not be replaced mid-season.
Yeah, but after the end of the season and all, it's possible, right?
Yeah, there is obviously a possibility, but Nick De Vries, yeah. So each team, I think, is mandatory for each team to have 2 practice sessions in the entire year where they give chance to a young driver who's not in Formula One as a part, in an effort to give them quote unquote exposure. It's a rule, but does not make sense since FIA does not want more teams to enter Formula One. Red Bull is going to bring upgrades that is going to reduce weight by 7 kgs. And Aston Martin upgrades are only coming in for Lance Stroll. So anyways, now the juiciest gossip. And Honey Badger, I want your thoughts on this. Ferrari is going to prepare a dossier on how much each team has spent till now on developments. Thoughts?
Okay, I have like a doubt. How
Hmm.
would Ferrari know about others' figures?
So I'll tell you why. So this all began when Helmut Marko said that by now Carlos Sainz has spent 175 million only in repairs by crashing so badly in the races. So after that, the Ferrari retaliated by saying that Red Bull has made so many new changes and has gotten so many new things that it feels like Red Bull has not gotten the budget cap and they are not, working towards it. So that's why the Ferrari is fighting against this. That does the Red Bull have a cap? Because all the other teams are bringing in strategic, like
Upgrades to their
upgrades.
car.
Yeah, whereas Red Bull has brought on upgrades in every race until now. So that's the whole thing. This all happened because of the legend we know as Helmut Marko.
Okay. What I have to say about this is, why is FIA not preparing this? So the budget cap was introduced to make sure that the gap between teams is shortened, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
bigger teams like Mercedes and Ferrari and Red Bull, they have the spending capacity that the backmarker teams do not have, like Williams and Haas, right? If you've
Hmm.
placed this, why is there not a report that is being made by the teams where you are reviewing how much they've spent till now, be it whatever comes under the purview of the budget cap? Because I know that the driver's salary and their top three executive salary does not come in under that. So I have not gone through the financial regulations, and I've also not gone through what encapsulates the budget cap, what comes under it. But if the FIA implemented a rule saying that this is the budget cap, then there should have been a report that is released by the FIA that, okay, for this, until this GP, this is the amount of money that each team has spent on developing their cars or in repairs, if repairs come under the budget cap, which I think they do. So why is this report not being prepared by the FIA? I get both the points of Helmet and Benotto. I agree with both of them. Red Bull has introduced upgrades in every race. So I am curious to understand how much they have spent. And I also agree that Carlos Sainz has had a lot of crashes, and there would have been a substantial amount of money that have gone into repairs of those. But why is this one team taking up the mantle that, oh, we think something sketchy is going on, rather than the FIA saying that, okay, we've implemented this budget cap and we should actually keep it transparent as to that all the teams are following this.
This is the work of FIA, but we all know that they have been very busy.
Yeah, checking
I mean,
underwears.
all jokes aside, like, if there is so much discrepancy in the budget cap thing, do you really think that it's a good idea to even implement it? And there has to be scrutiny. Like, F1 has so much scrutiny on everything. And then this very crucial thing about having a
Very
budget cap.
important budget cap.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I mean, they should be the one, but I seriously don't understand why it has not been done. Maybe they would have like a quarterly or end of the year thing with them, but I don't know how
but
it
okay,
works.
so if they realize at the end of the year that there are three teams, I'm not going to say any names, but and because I don't mean to point fingers at any team, but there are, let's say, three or four teams that have exceeded the budget. What are you going to then do? Are you going to disqualify them from championship? Are you going
Maybe
to
points
deduct
reduction.
their points? But my point is, why is it coming down to the last race? Why can there not be a scrutiny every time? Every time a team is bringing an upgrade, demand them for what it is that they have spent, there has to be scrutiny in this regard. Otherwise, there's no point of the budget cap.
We'll have to wait and see what happens after the report is published. Let's hope for a better tomorrow in the sport, because right now it is plain do
Yeah.
whatever the fuck you want.
Okay. Coming to the Spanish GP and the Barcelona track. I have driven that track in the F1 game and I'm not a big fan of it.
Okay.
I feel it's like a good balanced track.
Yeah, it's a really good balance track. Like the straights are really good. The turns are also nice. They've got nice chicane. So it will be a fun track. It will be a really fun race. If nothing stupid happens, it will be a really fun race to watch.
Okay, so this is
Hope
what
it
Honey
doesn't
Badger.
rain.
Yeah, Sector 3 is the worst. I agree with Honey Badger. Sector 3 is the worst sector. Like, there's just too much going on there. And so Honey
Sector
Badger
3
said
is
this in
after
the
turn,
Okay.
right?
Okay, if they take out turn 14, it would have been better.
yeah, so like Honey Badger said, so they have made some changes to the track layout, but I don't think the decision has been made as to which layout they will use. There have been changes that have been made to the track in the penultimate corner, but I'm not
Okay,
sure if,
penultimate corner is turn 14,
I
not
mean,
turn 14 to 15.
okay, so, but I don't know which layout they are going to use. But Honey Badger said it in the last episode that if you get a good lead in the Spanish GP, then by the end of the race, you will be like 11-12 seconds off the entire grid, and which is every driver is good at this track because they have the most experience because of testing every year. Yes, that is correct. And the upgrades here are also crucial because this is the only track apart from Bahrain where they actually have they actually have track data from the preseason testing. So I'm actually very curious to see what upgrades teams are bringing. Haas apparently said that they will not be bringing any upgrades for Spain. They might go for major upgrades in, I think, Silverstone GP, because they think that their car still has more potential that they've not extracted out of it. So that's interesting.
So they can go for 4 more races.
Yeah, that's what Gunther has said.
I am excited for Mercedes upgrades.
Yeah, I'm also excited for Mercedes upgrades. But again, the thing that I'm concerned about is that when they were testing in Barcelona at the start of the year, they had a different sidepod geography. And when they came to Bahrain, they brought a different concept. So given that their biggest problem right now is correlation, I don't know how much of that data can be used because there is a lot more at play with the aerodynamics this year than it was previous years. So I'm not sure if that data would be too useful for them because they changed their concept. Not sure what Mercedes is going to do, but yeah, I'm excited to see every car do good at this track because this is one of the first. I am more excited about McLaren upgrades because in the Barcelona testing, McLaren actually did really good. They got their laps in. They had the fastest times, and I mean, of course, there may be teams that may have been, sandbagging or whatever. Yeah, but I don't think, like, I think in the top 3, top 4 were the 2 Ferraris and Lando Norris, and I think Danny Rick was somewhere 5th or 6th. But Barcelona testing was a good test for what do you say, for McLaren. So I'm more excited for what McLaren is going to do, what kind of upgrades they are going to bring, if they are going to bring any. And yeah,
I think they will bring some upgrades, if not a lot. I think a little upgrades they will be bringing because they have gotten the least upgrades yet.
Yeah, I think, dude, seriously, I'm telling you, I think McLaren is just operating so quietly this entire year. Like till now, we've not seen a lot from McLaren. Like,
I'm literally waiting for the practice sessions or something to finally again get the grip of how the track performs
how the
and how much
upgrades are going.
porpoising is controlled from the first practice to this practice.
So porpoising control can be a problem because it's a high downforce track.
Yeah, exactly.
So that could be an issue for the teams that have been facing porpoising, Ferrari and Mercedes in particular.
Yeah, sometimes I feel the drivers are like playing jumping jack inside the cars because they bounce so fucking much.
Let's do predictions then, if there is nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
So we start with Honey Badger. Honey Badger's predictions are Sainz, Charles, and Perez for the podium. Fastest lap to Charles. General predictions are at least one Haas in top 10 in the race, at least one of the Aston Martin's DNF in the race, and Ricardo beats Lando. Okay, so you predicted that Charles, Max, and Sainz for the podium. Fastest lap to Charles. Then general predictions are Vettel in points. Only one Alpha Tauri in points. I know you said Toro Rosso, but I'm going to say Alpha Tauri. And
Nostalgia.
you said both Spanish drivers in points.
Yeah, both Spanish drivers, I have a good feeling that they will do something good.
And then Kramer, you said Max,
P1
Charles, and
Max.
Ocon for the podium. Fastest lap to Max. And you said Lando finishes above Danny Rick, at least 3 DNFs, and Mick will reach Q3. Spicy. And
Yeah,
my
bold
predictions,
predictions.
yeah, nice. My predictions are Charles, Max, and Perez for the podium, fastest lap to Max. And general predictions are both McLaren in points, Mick beats K-Mag, and at least 2 DNFs.
All our predictions are so interrelated or so similar or
Yeah.
like.
So that was it. That was our Spanish GP preview. Thank you everybody for joining for this episode, and thank you everybody for listening to this episode. If you like the episode, please share it with other people who would enjoy the podcast, and please subscribe to the podcast. Click on the follow button and click on the notification bell on Spotify so that you know when we release our next episode. If you have any feedback for us, or if you want us to cover anything, or if you want to be part of the podcast, please write to us at overthecurvepodcast@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us on our Instagram at overthecurvepodcast, and you can also reach out to us on Twitter at overthecurvepod. Until Spanish GP review. Bye.
Bye bye, guys.